All right, good morning, traders.
Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. How was your night, sir?
Very fine, thank you. Good morning,
Yes.
and happy Easter. Today is Good Friday, and we're here trading Forex. That tells you the Forex market never sleeps. It's always available. Even on the public holiday, you can still make money. All right, so today is the 29th of March. Good morning, Mr. Chidi. Today is 29th of March 2024. Please let's mute our device. I can hear some sound. Mr. Architect, good morning. Been a long time.
Hello, Mr. Rotimi. How you doing?
Very fine, sir. Good to have you here.
Around. I traveled. I came by day before yesterday.
No problem, sir. You're welcome back.
Well done. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. So this morning we are having today is a public holiday, like we all know. It's Good Friday. So most of the countries are on holiday, like Switzerland is on holiday. You can say bank holiday, CHF, Euro, German bank holiday. The United Kingdom is on holiday. Canada is on holiday. The America is still on. So fundamentally, we will just focus a lot more on the United States dollar. And the news we are looking at is coming up by 1:30 p.m. And that is the core PCE price index. And let us just check what this news is all about. This news measures the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy. And actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So what happens is that by 1:30 p.m., if the data, the actual, comes out greater than the forecast, we'll be looking at buying the dollar. In that instance, the color of the data will be green. So if by 1:30 p.m. you have a figure above 0.3, maybe 0.4% and above, with the color green, we'll be looking at buying the dollar. And if on the other hand, it is actually less than forecast, in which case the data will be less than 0.3, that's from 0.2% downwards, and the color of the data being red, we'll be looking at selling the dollar. And here when we talk about dollar, we're referring to USD JPY, USD CHF. I would say you should avoid USD CAD because Canada is on holiday, so we can look at USD JPY and USD CHF. So we'll go back to the technicals now and see the projections technically for this news and other technical setup that we have for today. Now, the market this week has not been, some of the, there were movements though, even though there was a lot of range, but a lot of movements were not, really in line with most of the analysis. Most of my setup this week was not even triggered, but a few got triggered and eat profits, but majority of them were not, even triggered. But then let's just look a little first at the fundamental, then we'll go to proper technical analysis. So now the dollar index is still trying to shoot out of the symmetrical triangle. I said that was a symmetrical triangle yesterday. The news that was released yesterday, though the data came out in favor of the dollar, but it did not move the market as expected. The outlook was that the news comes out, actual greater than forecast, dollar should break out above and gold should sell. But despite that, it's like gold is just in the world of its own. Gold is still going higher. We're expecting gold to sell yesterday because we saw a head and shoulder. But somehow, I think there's an underlying fundamental activity that is pushing gold at this time. It was expected that gold will have sold yesterday, but that's not what we're seeing. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, which is what we're saying. Such will happen. In such instance, what do? You stay out. It's as simple as that. If the news is not respecting your analysis, just stay out. Along the line later on, the market will settle down and things will go back to normal. So
I'm sorry, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
In that instance now, because I got caught up on the news and I was on sale on gold, and the thing refused to come down. It has been going higher and higher and higher since yesterday. At a time, the gold stock at the resistance, the market, and it refused to come down, refused to go up. And the loss is much. So I don't know. I don't know whether it eventually come back, or I don't know how long it will take.
Okay, when you say the loss is much, like what lot size did you use?
Like the 0.01, although it's demo and it's like $26.
That means it has gone up as high as about 260 pips. Now to
Yeah.
start with, if you look at the data yesterday, the actual, let's quickly flip back. Let me go back to
Yes,
the
sir.
fundamental again so that we'll take a look. All right. Now, if you look at the data, this is the data we're talking about, at least the first set. Final GDP quarterly was good for the dollar. Unemployment claims was neutral. It was black. And final GDP price index was equally neutral. So the one that had the real data that actual was greater than forecast was 1 out of 3. The others, if all these other 2 were equally green, like the first one, which is final GDP quarterly, dollar will have gone up and gold will have come down. But it didn't come out actual greater than forecast. It was actual equal to forecast. And when it's actual equal to forecast, sometimes it does not always work out as planned. It's as good as nothing is happening. You understand? So that's the reason why gold did not, because the data did not really draw down the value of gold. If it had come out as a green, actual greater than forecast, then we will have had the dollar index move up and gold will have moved down. But since that's not what we saw, the market was not really compelled, to pull down gold, and that's why gold, kept going higher. So the data we had it wasn't the clear data that will support the coming down of gold to start with. So that's why you saw that gold still kept going up. Yes, ma'am.
But initially it sold. Gold sold very well. But what happened was I entered it about 1-2 times. The first 2 sold very well, but that third one was the one that now held the.
Okay, are you saying you entered 3 different times?
Yes.
No, you should have entered once and watch. As in,
the first 2 sold.
You entered 3 trades. Did you enter 3 trades at the same time or 3 different times?
I entered 1, 2, and they sold with good profits. Then the third, when I first was still selling, I now entered the third one. So maybe that was the one that now held me back.
I think that was due to, that's why if you want to take a trade, like I always say, just take 1 or 2. Because I think there must have been a time lapse between the time you entered the first 2 and the third. If you had entered all of them at the same time, or if you had stopped at 2 you took initially, even by the time the reversal was trying to take place, if you close it, you will have come out in profit. But because there has been a time lapse, so when you enter the third one and the reversal happened, it just, turned it into a loss immediately. So trading news, to be honest, requires you to be extra fast. That's the fact. If you must trade news, you have to be extra fast. But most importantly, you have to also decide on the data, what you want to see. Most of the time, news trading works better when the result is the perfect thing you are expecting. Like if it is a red, or let it be red all through. If it's a green, let it be green all through. That way you are guaranteed the trade. But once the data is conflicting, a green red, a green black, sometimes the outcome may not be as expected.
So in this instance, what do I do? I should close the trade?
You have to close it.
Since it's already overbought, I don't know, will any hope for reversal?
It's overbought, but to be honest, the way gold is behaving now, we don't even know what it's trying to do. Whether to keep going higher or it will come down, we don't know. Obviously, I believe there is a fundamental. I'll do some research. Probably there is a war breaking out somewhere, or something is happening somewhere that is pushing it. Something is pushing it from somewhere. So you can't really tell, we can't guarantee and say, oh, it will come down. What if it doesn't come down the next 1 week and it keeps going higher? We can't really be that certain.
Yes. It's okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
I'll decide on what to do, whether to close it or to wait and hold it after the holiday and see what will happen, since it is a demo.
Well, since it's demo, there is really no cause for alarm. You can hold it and watch. Because a live account now, it would have been a different case, because then you're looking at real money.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, man. So today we'll trade what we see. If the actual comes out greater than forecast, you buy. If the actual comes out less than forecast, you sell. And another advantage of today's news is that it is a one-item event. That's another thing. Sometimes when you have multiple news coming at the same time, it can become dicey. But if it is just one event, it's either a buy or you sell, or a black one, you stay out. You are dealing with just one entity. But when it becomes multiple, it can get tricky sometimes. But the one we have today is just one item event. Actual greater than forecast to buy the dollar, actual less than forecast to sell the dollar. It's just as simple as that. Though technically, USJPY is hit a resistance level about 2 days ago. So I will, from a technical angle, I would say that actual less than forecast might work better for USDJPY. You can see USDJPY on my screen now, and it hit a resistance level, some days ago, and it's been there. It's been on that resistance level. So a actual greater than forecast may not really work well, because I don't really see much volatility in the market today. We're on holidays, and we have just one event, and that news event is not spectacularly the volatile type. So except it's something very volatile, yes, it could break the resistance, but something that the news itself is not so volatile, it may not break. So we'll look more for actual less than forecast, in the news today by 1:30 p.m. Ojo Sunday, Sam Daniel. Sir, my gold and crude oil are not working. Is it because of the holiday? Both of them have not been working all week. That's the truth and the reality. Sometimes it happens when markets don't really flow in line of your expectation. Because I actually did a video on the weekly outlook for the crude oil where I expected it to go bearish. But then it has been buying all week long. But notwithstanding, something I've also understood about analysis is that when you're doing long time, when you're looking at a bigger time frame like daily and weekly, there are times when your analysis may not trigger the initial week you expected it to trigger. It may happen following week. So it's still, because it's a swing, most of them are swing setup. So if it has not triggered this week, because I'll show you the analysis on crude oil, what I'm seeing now, and what is the update on that analysis. So that it did not work this week does not mean it's completely over. You understand? Because we are looking at weekly time frame, daily time frame, and 4-hour. Sometimes it may not trigger the exact week. Even the same thing applies to the gold and the dollar index we're talking about. Sometimes that move may not happen that initial week we expect it, but may happen the next week, because we're looking at a longer time frame. So let's stay relaxed. We'll trade other pairs, while we are waiting for those ones, if they will trigger or not. So back to the USD news by 1:30 p.m. I would rather look more towards an actual less than forecast, because price already hit a resistance on the daily time frame on USD JPY, and it's already facing downwards. And for USD CHF, I'll still hold the same bearish outlook, except there are changes in the market structure. And my reason for that is this. Just a second. Just a minute. My screen is distorted, kind of. Okay. Well, for USD, okay, I think I found what I'm looking for. My screen just got disorganized on my tiles are, menus are different. All right. Now for USDC, okay, sorry, this is USD card. I was trying to look at USD CHF. All right, for USD CHF, this has been in a kind of a range lately. Okay, if you are to look at the USD CHF, USD CHF 2 hit a resistance level. It also hit a resistance level. So I would rather say an actual less than forecast may work better. That's if the data released is actual less than forecast. That would help the dollar to drop, a little further. Because if you're looking at actual, if the news comes out as actual greater than forecast, personally, I'll be careful to take a trade because price is just going to go up to hit the resistance. So it's just some 19 pips away. That sometimes it's just too close for my liking. That's my personal view, my personal preference. I'd rather look out for a scenario where the actual is less than forecast on that data. In fact, it's 11, 13 pips, not even 19. So technically, we are at the resistance level, and actual greater than forecast may not really work too well because price could just hit resistance and still fall down into a sell. So let's look out for more of actual less than forecast on the news, in the afternoon. All right. That being said, I want to just quickly show us the other technical setup I have for today, and we'll round up. Today is Christmas. Sorry, today is Good Friday, not Christmas Day. So I know some of our women, I believe they are cooking something sweet today. So let's not take much time with the analysis. So I'll look at Euro AUD. Okay, now I said we should look out for actual less than forecast, and now that will also help, like because on GBP now you can see that this GBP on the daily time frame, price hit a support level yesterday and closed as a rejection candle. So technically, we should be looking at a bull on GBP USD. We should be looking at the bull on GBP USD. So we can flip down to the 1 hour time frame. I think I can draw a trend line right here, okay, and wait for price to break the trend line upwards to trigger a buy on GBP USD. So technically, I hold a bullish outlook on GBP USD. So if there's opportunity to buy GBP USD today, if price breaks out above the trend line with RSI above 50, then I'll clearly take a buy on GBP USD. Also, my other analysis today is on Euro AUD. This is Euro AUD. On the 4 hour time frame, let's even go to the daily. 4 hour daily. Now I can draw a trend line to touch multiple parts of this currency as it's making higher lows. Now the current candle is another higher low. So technically I expect, a bullish continuation on Euro AUD. That's on the daily. So I flip down to 1 hour. Now on 1 hour, price, and what I'm saying that means to price is that price may form an inverse head and shoulder and break out upwards. So that's technically what I'm seeing. My retrace, then breakout. But now, for some of us, I know this pattern thing might be a little bit complex. You can as well just draw a trend line. Just draw your trend line to touch the previous. Wait for your RSI to cross above 50. In doing all that, price will have done its retracement and broken out. Then you can take a buy on Euro AUD. So wait for your RSI to cross. You can see it's even a falling wedge also. But if all that is complex for you, just look at the trend line being broken with your RSI above 50, and that should help you trigger a buy, on Euro AUD. And I'll look at CHF JPY. This one is having a bullish trend. That's actually my outlook for it right from the beginning of the week. So it didn't buy initially. It didn't buy initially. Yeah, it's rather started selling, but currently it's now obeying what the market said. Now you can clearly see on the daily time frame that we have price hit a support zone. I can flip down to 1 hour, and I think I drew a trend line. Initially, my trend line was here, so it has broken the trend line. I had a falling wedge. I actually had a falling wedge here as at I think yesterday or 2 days ago. I think yesterday it already broke out. Now I'll use my Fibonacci tool. So currently it's testing Fibonacci 23.6. So I'll look to continue. The trend has actually been, the uptrend is on. But I'll wait for price to break out above 167, 0.988. Once the new candle open above that level. Or better still, to make it easier for many of us, let's put the a buy stop pending order achieve 38.2. I'll type that in the chat box now. So we can just set that as a buy stop pending order. So CHF JPY buy stop at 168.196. We can set our take profit at the next. Okay, let's be more. Let's look out for more of Fibonacci 61.8, while we put our stop loss at Fibonacci 23.6. So that way we have a ratio 1 to 2. So take profit. CP will be at 169.170, and stop loss will be at 167.589. All right. So I'll post it now in the chat box. You can take it up and set on your account. And if you don't know how to set pending order, I think I made a video on that. You can go to my YouTube channel, be guided on how to set a pending order there. Look for, I think I have a video on pending order. Just search for it. It's on my YouTube channel. You can watch it. It will guide you. All right. So finally, we'll look at, just let me run through, people are dropping requests. Let me run through my analysis. I'll attend to all requests. Finally, I'll look at the crude oil, which was one of my, major outlook for the week. All right. Now, at the end of the week, I really did make a video. I did make rather breakout, but that outlook is not working yet. Now, like I said earlier, it does not mean it's not going to work. I believed it was going to sell. I believe that this was forming a head and a shoulder. It happened up to this point, right? Let me say even up to this point, it dropped, but it never broke the neckline before it reversed. Because currently price is now at a resistance level. This is the 4-hour time frame. So we can go back to the daily and we'll see that we're still having a valid resistance level. And there is an inner support turned resistance, price is still at that point. So it just went back to the initial point where we took the analysis from the beginning of the week, testing that level as a resistance level again. So there's still no cause for alarm. And further look shows that we now have a rising wedge, and this is now more or less now like a double top pattern, which may still lead to a bearish breakout. So like I said, sometimes you may analyze an instrument for a particular week and it does not trigger that week. That does not mean it's over yet, except if now during the course of today or days to come, price breaks out above this level, then that is when the analysis is completely invalidated. But sometimes, like I always tell us, structure may change, but price may still go back. When I say structure may change, we are seeing the head and shoulder, but now it's turning to a double top. Both head and shoulder double top still means price is going to sell. You understand? So there can be a change of structure. But if there's a complete change in the outlook of the price, then that is, if price breaks above this level, then we will start looking at sell. Well, that means the bullish continuation is on. But for now, we are still having a pattern that looks like a double top, which is still a bearish pattern. It's still in line with the analysis. Let's just watch as things unfold with this current setup. It's still in line with the earlier analysis. Now, two ways to trade is either you want to do swing, or if you're an intraday trader, you might come down to 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes is actually for more scalpers, because on intraday, on intraday, we can still do a 1 hour trend line up there. I think there's still a second one at the back, but it's not so sharp. It's not so sharp. And even if you can't find a trend at the back, just one in front is okay. It's not a must that you always have to get a trend line at the back, because price hit a resistance level on the daily. We have a rejection candle here. If price breaks out below this trend line, you can trigger a sell. Precisely when your RSI crosses below 50, you can trigger a sell. For intraday traders, we can trigger a sell on 1 hour. If you're a scalper, you can go down to 15 minutes. Now, if you're a swing trader, you need to wait for price to do its thing and break out below the neckline of this double top before you trigger a sell if you are a swing trader. And the neckline is just this region. This region is the neckline. So you have to wait for price to break below this rectangle box before you can trigger a sell if you are a swing trader. So that's it. I still maintain my bearish outlook, except things change completely. I still maintain my bearish outlook on crude oil. All right, that'll be all for my analysis. So I'll take those requests that are being dropped, and we should be out of here very soon.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Please let's take a look at BTC with on that from 1 hour time frame, sir.
All right, sir.
So this price.
All right, so this is BTC USD on the daily time frame, and we can see that price hit a resistance on the daily. So let's flip down to 4 hour. Still a resistance. We had a rejection candle right here, still a valid resistance. So let's flip down to 1 hour time frame. Now, from what I'm seeing on the 4 hour time frame here, this is looking a lot to break out downwards. So we have a bearish projection from the 4 hour time frame, and on 1 hour it's still the same. Now what we can do with 1 hour here is that we can still draw a trend line right here.
Exactly my projection. Exactly what I did here.
So just to wait for price to break out below this to trigger it. So now take note that there's a neckline here. The neckline is still valid, even though it's from 4 hour, still very valid. So this, if price breaks out below the trend line here, then you might set the take profit here. Now, if maybe you might open two trades. If it's okay by your account, set your first take profit at the next line. Then if price breaks the next level, then you can have price, move downwards, because that neckline, sometimes it all depends. Volatility may be low today. So because of the fact that there's holiday and some of these markets countries are bouncing on holiday, may not have much volatility in the market. So we don't know whether price will break the neckline or not. At least if you set your first day profit there, you are sure that that is taken, then you can move your stop loss to entry for the second trade while you are waiting for it to, trigger downwards. So I hold a bearish outlook on BTC USD.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir. CAD JPY. Somebody's asking about CAD JPY. Now, I had a bearish outlook on this CAD JPY so earlier in the week, but price refused to break this support level. You never can tell. It may now two things will happen from what I saw earlier on this instrument. This region is acting like a kind of support. Price might still push up here so that we now have a double top and a breakout. That's the possibility. Second thing is that just like it's happening now, price may, trigger downwards. Now this 4-hour time frame, price may break out here, but then if it breaks out, you should know that until price breaks this support, you don't really have a sell. So for the person asking about CAD JPY, I would rather prefer that price breaks the support downwards for you to trigger a sell on CAD JPY. So it's a bearish one on CAD JPY, but just you need to exercise a lot of patience on it. Damilare, thank you, sir. But can BTC USD still sell during the weekend till Monday? Yes, now BTC market does not close. It's on over the weekend, so it can still sell till Monday. Very possible. Euro USD, Mr. Barra, good news. Euro USD. Now we are holding a bearish outlook on the dollar because of what we saw on the technical. So if you are bearish on the dollar, we might as well be bullish on Euro USD. And Euro USD is forming currently a falling wedge pattern, which tells us that, it's looking like it wants to go bullish. So upwards, then you'll be able to trigger a buy on Euro USD. So Mr. Barr can take note of that. We are bullish on Euro USD. And if you look a little closer, you will actually see that I think I can see a trend line right there. That trend line should be coming from the daily time frame. So right from the daily, yeah, correct. We have an uptrend on the daily time frame.
Sir, please, I have a question, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Now that Euro, they are they not on holiday? Like, can it still work like with the pair? Can it still work with USD?
Well, if the Euro is on holiday, let me confirm. Okay, I think we said that this morning during the fundamentals. If Euro is on holiday, then you need to trade with caution because
exactly what I'm trying to say.
There won't be then let me use what there may not be sufficient volatility to push it.
It cannot even really.
So you need to just be careful. You don't have sufficient volatility, except maybe some fundamentals, somewhere just push it. But outside that, they don't have enough sufficient volatility to move. But notwithstanding, even if it ranges today, it's possible it may move on Monday. So it doesn't mean the setup is completely not valid. It may not just move because volatility may drop today because Euro is on holiday. So that's just it. You're welcome, Damilari. Okay, I think that's all. That's all the requests I have there. Okay. So does anybody have a last one? Because I want to close. All right. So in the absence of any other requests, I want you to trade safe, enjoy the holidays, and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.
Happy Easter. Have a wonderful
Easter,
celebration, sir.
You too, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
very much.
You're welcome, sir.